language praising the cat-like way interrogators entered the room before torturing suspects and promising to make one of them suffer in ways he never thought possible. Specifics of the CIA torture program have largely been withheld from the public despite supposedly having ended years ago. Haspel's role in the torture made her confirmation as CIA director particularly controversial, especially since President Trump has publicly espoused the merits of torture on several occasions. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. UPI reports a judge has rejected two men's no-contest plea deals on involuntary manslaughter charges in the 2016 Ghost Ship warehouse fire in Oakland, California that killed 36 people. Alameda County Superior Judge James Kramer capped 2 days of emotional testimony of families of the individuals who died during a dance concert at the warehouse on December 2, 2016, tossed out plea deals of the two defendants on Friday. Kramer rejected the no-contest plea deal of Derek Almena, one of the two co-founders of the facility, arrested in June 2017 for allegedly allowing dangerous conditions in the building that led to the fire, saying he did not show remorse. Since Max Harris, the second co-founder and accused of the same thing, had his no-contest plea wrapped up in the same package, his plea was rejected as well. Kramer said after listening to statements from families of the victims and defendants over a 2-day hearing that was expected to end with the sentencing of Almena and Harris, "I am expressly rejecting the plea bargains as to Mr. Almena. I do not know that it will do any of these victims any good." Some of the families of victims applauded the decision in the courtroom and shouted yes, while some of the other victims' families gasped and cried, and attorneys seemed surprised. Under the plea deals, Almena, the Ghost Ship's master tenant, was to receive a 9-year prison sentence. Harris, the Artist Collective's executive director, was to receive a 6-year sentence. With credit for time served and good behavior, Almena could have been released in less than 4 years and Harris in less than 2, sparking outrage from victims' families that prompted another look. The plea deal was made under a different judge, Morris Jacobson, and finalized last month. Unless another plea deal is accepted, the case will now go to trial. When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more. Reuters reports the airline worker who stole an empty airplane from a Seattle airport on a flight that ended in his death once ran a bakery with his wife and enjoyed the benefits that came with his job to travel the world. According to a webpage he set up for a college communications class, Richard Russell was a 29-year-old man living in Sumner, Washington, who was born in Key West, Florida, and moved to Wasilla, Alaska when he was 7 years old. He has not officially been named, but multiple news media outlets reported his identity, citing interviews with family, co-workers, and law enforcement sources working the case. Russell worked for Horizon Airlines, a sister of carrier Alaska Airlines, as a ground service agent. Russell reportedly commandeered an empty Bombardier Q400 turboprop aircraft on Friday night from a maintenance area at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. He flew for about an hour before crashing on Cretin Island in Puget Sound, about 25 miles to the southwest. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Following reports of a newly posted job listing at area marketing firm Swenson Digital, The Onion spoke to a few of the 1,400 applicants who claim they are, quote, absolutely perfect for this position.
When I first saw this opening, I knew it was right for me. I've got tons of experience. I've got all the skills they're looking for.
If you look at my resume, I've got everything they're looking for. I mean, I've held similar jobs like this in the past. I'm extremely driven. I really think this is going to work out.
I've got a BA in marketing, which the posting said was recommended, so I think that'll bode really well for me. I've had plenty of team experience, and I think that would stand out. Not to mention the fact that I'm great with
web design and HTML, and pretty proficient with Excel and PowerPoint. Also, I think the culture is
very me, you know? I think I'd fit in well with the other employees. I also think I had a great resume
and cover letter. I think as soon as they interview me, they'll see I'm the perfect candidate.
As of this video's release, Swenson Digital had extended a job offer to an applicant who happens to be a friend of the boss's son.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. It's the live Sunday edition of Free Talk Live. It's Mark with you.
And Darryl.
If you're hearing my voice and it's between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Time any day of the rest of your life, you can call in and talk live here on Free Talk Live. That's what we do. That's what we make available to you. That's our promise as best we can keep it. So please, you are welcome to talk about whatever is going on. One of the things that was going on this weekend was apparently, I don't even know what to call these people, but apparently there was a rally.
They're calling their rally the Second Unite the Right rally.
Unite the Right. Okay, I have no intention of being united with these folks from what I have seen.
Do you consider yourself to be on the right?
I don't know. There's a left-right paradigm even within libertarianism.
And I reject the notion that left and right even exist because, the whole point of left-right is to just divide people. And
people are divided, though, right?
Yeah, the people divide themselves on all kinds of things. Oh, you like Coke? I like Pepsi. You like RC Cola? I like Dr. Pepper. You like this? I like that. People are going to find reasons to argue. And I would rather not argue.
So you can set aside arguments surrounding Coke and Pepsi because who cares? You can set aside arguments about Yankees or Red Sox because who cares? You can
you tell somebody in Boston or New York that.
I'm being
and they will fight you.
Heard in both Boston and New York right now. And they can go ahead and call in at 855-450-3733 and express their deep and abiding concern that their particular team of millionaires is somehow better than some other team of millionaires. They can go ahead and do that. They can probably tell by my introduction right there exactly how I feel about that nonsense. But when it comes to the left and the right want to steal your money and spend it on the things they want to spend it on. The libertarians tend to not want to steal your money, and the authoritarians want to steal more of your money and spend it on both of the things that the left and the right.
That's the actual divide, is the people that support freedom and the people that don't.
Yeah.
And neither of those is left or right.
Would you say that
it's freedom versus degrees of tyranny?
I tend to agree with that assessment, but it would.
Some of the tyrants will define themselves. They use the terms left and right to define themselves, but I'm not going to do that.
I think that the libertarian scapegoating that I hear. Certainly from Ian, maybe from you, where they say essentially you either agree with me or you are a statist, is just insufficient for the average person out there. That they believe that a libertarian is somebody who believes in small government as opposed to somebody who believes in just doing away with the concept of a tyrannical state at all. So when one rejects the reality that there are those within the liberty movement or is spawned off of the liberty movement that in some way, shape, or form are the people associate the liberty movement to some extent with some of these nut jobs, i.e. Christopher Cantwell. Today, while I was at my Quaker meeting, I spoke with a young man who considers himself to be a libertarian, and he said, "Could you please explain to me the relationship between you, Free Talk Live, and Christopher Cantwell?" And there's a relationship. Christopher Cantwell, for those who don't know, is the man labeled as the crying Nazi about a year ago.
The relationship is he used to be on the show. He got kicked off of the show for being a racist.
That's about right. I get to say we fired him first. It's actually the Free State Project fired him before we did. But nonetheless, we fired him at the very least before people became aware of him. So I think that there's this association that needs to be addressed, and it's worth addressing.
It's an invalid association, but it's an association that people want to make.
Many people from these organizations have, for whatever reason, shown up at liberty-type events with the hopes of being heard. And, I think that we should listen to all sides. I have retired the notion that somehow people should be divided based on the color of their skin. I'm done with that. If I ever had any kind of relationship to it at all. But I have considered that, and now I have slid it to the side.
Right. And, if you want to go back, and we can talk about the minutia of left-right all day long, but if you go back to when those terms first really, came into the lexicon, it was based on where people sat in the French Parliament.
Yes.
The people that would be considered classic liberals sat on the left.
Yep.
Where today, most people want to say, libertarian is some form of right. No, we are not some form of right.
Well, okay, so it's not that I don't agree with you. I think that libertarianism is quite arguably a leftist movement. However, I would say many of us came to the liberty movement from the right. Now, I don't know what it was like for you, but I was most assuredly a ditto head. I shed, when I found out that there was enough people out there that agreed with me that, maybe I don't care what people do in their bedroom. And maybe I don't care if people smoke pot. And maybe I think that free people, that immigration is a good thing and provides new great things for this country. Whatever these things are, that I can move from the right to whatever the libertarian is, the top, as we like to call it in the liberty movement, because it's at the top of the Nolan chart. As opposed
to the Nolan chart being a diamond shape.
Right, as opposed to a right-left paradigm.
Right.
There is this diamond-shaped chart which puts libertarianism at the top, which is where, since we invented it, we're going to put ourselves.
Right.
The left and the right are well represented on the left and the right, and then at the bottom are authoritarians, which basically believe that everything that the left and the right want from big government should all be implemented because government's good at things.
Right. So let's jump into this article here from NBC News where they say hundreds of people congregated in Lafayette Park on Sunday, just steps away from the White House, to participate in the second Unite the Right rally, a gathering aimed to bring together multiple white nationalist organizations. In total, thousands more turned out across the nation's capital to protest the group's presence and purpose. Jason Kessler, the white nationalist organizer of the Unite the Right rally, was accompanied by a few dozen people when he arrived at the Vienna, Virginia subway station about 2 p.m. There, they boarded 3 train cars and went to the Foggy Bottom stop in Washington. Members of Kessler's group told journalists at the Virginia station that they were a, quote, tool of the Zionist media. With their faces covered, the Unite the Right rally attendees also announced that they were the founding stock of the United States and claimed there were more Americans than non-whites. When Kessler's group finally arrived at 3:30 p.m., fewer than 20 people remained. They were greeted by counter-protesters shouting, "Nazis go home, you're not welcome here."
And about thousands, did they say?
That's what it says, yes.
So this was an Antifa, or anti-Unite the Right protest that the Unite the Right...
Anti-white nationalist.
Yeah.
They don't specify, at the very beginning what groups people belong to. It might mention further down.
Yeah, I think that this is something that Americans really can get behind, is that we have no intention of being represented by people who dislike people based on their skin color.
Right. A few rally goers waved at the counter-protesters nonchalantly, earning jeers from the much larger crowd. The police held a line between the white nationalists and the counter-protesters, who were separated by fences and about 50 feet of grass. Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser said in a statement on Sunday, "We have people coming to our city for the sole purpose of spewing hate. It didn't make sense last year, and it doesn't make sense now." 1 year ago, white nationalists and Antifa counter-protesters clashed in Charlottesville, Virginia during the first Unite the Right event, or what some people referred to as a white civil rights rally that Kessler also organized. And there was the woman that was killed when somebody plowed a car through a group of counter-protesters And there's a little bit more to this article from NBC News.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it's a pretty un-event. If you're interested in sharing your thoughts on it, the number is 855-450-3733. If you want to sound really good, you can join our Discord group at discord.freetalklive.com. 855-450-FREE, Free Talk Live.
This November, I'll be running the world's biggest and most popular marathon, the New York City Marathon, as a member of Team Innocence Project. The Innocence Project was the first legal organization to systematically apply DNA testing to cases of wrongful convictions as a powerful tool to reveal innocence. So far in 2018, the Innocence Network has welcomed 32 wrongfully convicted people home from prison for crimes they did not commit and had a record-breaking 850 people unite in Memphis at their annual conference. The movement of freeing the innocent and reforming the criminal justice system is growing and would not be possible without your support. Together as 68 network organizations around the world, they've helped exonerate 513 people who spent a combined total of 7,804 years in prison. They've also worked together to pass over 150 laws in the U.S. to help prevent wrongful convictions. You can support the Innocence Project by going to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT No Gov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to bipcot.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live Sunday edition. I was trying to catch that come on, and I just failed on that. Oh, well. What are you going to do? Come on and call in at Free Talk Live, 1-855-450-3733, 855-450-FREE. Got thrown off by my own poor broadcast skills there.
Yeah, that happens every now and then, where you've got like 4 things you want to say, and then none of them really want to come out.
Yeah, and I'm just reading this article about Christopher Cantwell, our former co-host here on the show, whom, we fired second, I guess. And it's Mark with you.
And Darryl.
Number's 855-450-3733. Bitcoin.com wants you to save 20 to 25% on your purchases at Amazon. That's a pretty nice thing to want for you.
Yeah.
And they've got a plan for you to make that happen. It's a pretty easy plan, too. All you have to do is open an account at saveatpurse.com. That's saveatpurse.com. It's not like an email, so it's just a web address, saveatpurse.com. You go there, you open an account, you fund that account with some Bitcoin Cash, some BCH. You can fund it with BTC also, but the transaction fees are lower on Bitcoin Cash right now, and you're not going to miss your window when making a purchase. So go ahead, give it a shot. I think it's worth trying out when you can see how easy it is and how seamless their system has gotten over time. By the way, they've got every bit of instruction there at saveatpurse.com. I think you'll really enjoy it. Bitcoin.com is your source for all news, whether you're a neophyte or an experienced user. Bitcoin.com has all your news for cryptocurrency. It's Bitcoin.com. Is there anything left on this article about this non-rally that the Unite the Right had in D.C.?
Oh, there was actually a rally, but the counter-protesters definitely outnumbered them.
That's a failure.
Yeah. The article, again, from NBC News says when an MC told the counter-protesters in Washington that Kessler had boarded the train in Virginia and was on his way there, many began to boo. Meanwhile, dozens of people associated with the racial activist group Black Youth Project 100 marched on 8th Street shouting, "Fight back, rise up," as police blocked the road. Brandon Watson, one of the members, I guess, of this group, who's a black man, stood alongside Kessler and said, quote, "If someone has a lesser right than someone else, then we're not united," claiming that Kessler was here for everyone. The article then says...
I don't know what that means, but all right.
Nor do I. Apparently, the white nationalist is there to support the rights of people that he finds to be lesser than him, but still wants them to have rights according to this one guy. I'm not sure. It began to rain, which then wound up cutting the rally short. And it says here that the white nationalists found their route blocked by Antifa and other counter-protesters who yelled, "It's hot, it's wet, we're not done with Nazis yet."
I do hate chanting, but that is generally pretty funny.
Yeah.
Okay. So, are we done with this this whole idea of Nazis yet here in America? I'm thinking that this might be the beginning of the end for all this nonsense.
It seems to be falling apart. There was a Vice thing a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I've got a
talking about how the so-called Unite the Right groups and the alt-right, as some people refer to them, they've basically fallen apart.
Yeah, they fractured into a bunch.
They've fractured, and a lot of the people that were seen as sort of mouthpieces, they've sort of gone away from the spotlight.
As a matter of fact, Christopher Cantwell is featured in a Yahoo News article about that same Vice video.
Oh, he was shown prominently in the Vice piece.
One of the excerpts here is that he's basically disavowing those folks. It says, looking back on it, the 37-year-old former libertarian, it says, now says that he would have done a lot of things different. I wouldn't have gone to that thing realizing that what an effing catastrophe people who are putting it together were, he says, referring to the Unite the Right organizer, Jason Kessler, who is literally an effing mental patient. To be clear, Cantwell's regrets about his participation on Unite the Right have little to do with his views espoused by its participants, but rather based on what he sees as Kessler's poor planning and his failure to properly prepare for the potential blowback against gathering hundreds of white supremacists and neo-Nazis in a city run by communists. The idea that anybody would follow him into something as dangerous as what we walked into down there is absolutely insane, Cantwell says, despite repeatedly referring to himself as an entertainer. Cantwell is unrepentant about his racist and anti-Semitic worldview. In fact, it seems to have only become further solidified in the past year.
This, thing sounds more like, I'm not sorry that I did the thing. I'm sorry that I got caught doing the thing.
Sounds right.
I'm not sorry that I broke into your house and stole your TV. I'm sorry that I got caught breaking into your house and stealing your TV.
I think that he does make a prescient point here, and that is coming up right now. And this is true if you can think about applying this everywhere in your life. My new favorite catchphrase on the show is, keep on calling everybody a Nazi and eventually you're going to be right, because that is literally what happened, Cantwell says. So I'm in jail, held without bond, without probable cause, facing 60 years in prison because a Jew and a tranny framed me for a crime, and everybody's calling me a Nazi. Well, you know what? I'm starting to think that the Nazis had an effing point. Cantwell only faced 12 months in prison for his Charlottesville-related charges. But to some extent, wouldn't you say that Trump got elected based on this sort of rising cacophony on the far fringe left that says essentially everybody who's a straight, cisgendered white male is evil?
I don't know, because I've never been called evil. I've never been called a Nazi.
Yes, you have.
Not to my face.
No, not to your face, but the internet is full of lunatics.
I don't read 99% of the internet.
You don't read even that amount, but there are. Would you like me to forward you some articles? The new New York Times editor that recently appointed to their editorial board has some things to tell you.
Oh, I've heard that she's posted some stuff, but I've got better things to do than read everything some Yahoo post on Twitter.
Just because you choose not to read the scribblings of mad people, just like Cantwell, mind you. She's a racist, just like Cantwell is. She's a racist, just like the people she's calling racists. But lots of this, like, people become what it is that they think they're fighting against in so many cases. The sides get pushed further and further. You believe thoroughly what you believe.
There's, the divide is growing between people, but the thing of, somebody called me a Nazi, so therefore I'm going to become a Nazi to prove to them that I'm not a Nazi, like, that is insanity.
Well,
it makes no logical sense.
One more thing, maybe this will help you. All right, so there are lunatics out there that call people Nazis just for the sake of calling them Nazis. Then people say, I don't feel like a Nazi. Maybe I should look into what Nazism is. And then they see...
Those people are equally insane, then.
All the things that the Nazism has to say, and they probably find a couple of things in there that they think are of value.
People have called me a clown. I've never gone to clown college to prove them wrong.
855-450-3733. 855-450-FREE.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
This is Jessica Armand, creator of the fluoride-free oral care brand, My Magic Mud. You're going to love our new products. Our cutting-edge oral rinses deeply soothe your mouth and fight cavities naturally. Our breath spray, My Magic Mist, will invigorate your senses with essential oils of peppermint and eucalyptus. Our clinically proven toothpaste and tooth powders whiten your teeth and detoxify your mouth. Buy discounted bundles direct at mymagicmud.com and take 10% off with coupon code GCN10. mymagicmud.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
If you're looking for work, the person you are applying to may be even more nervous than you are. And the way things are now, your references have never been more important. Here are 3 tips. First, know that employers are checking. Every hire is under the microscope these days. Second, they won't just be checking references you provide. Figure that all of your ex-employers will get a call and be asked, would you hire him or her again? Third, assume you will be Googled. So before you apply, remove all those party animal photos from your Facebook page. Even if you're not in the job market, effective communication skills have never been more important, with money and attention so scarce now. For more tips for job seekers and getting better results in all your day-to-day communication, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. It's the live Sunday edition. It's Mark with you.
And Darryl.
You can call in and talk about whatever's on your mind. We've been talking about this Unite the Right unrally thing that was going on in Washington, D.C. over the weekend, and how poorly that played out, and how I think that these rallies are probably done at this point. Looks like Antifa won. Or I'm not even sure that what I saw in Washington, D.C., what I heard about in Washington, D.C. is Antifa. I think it's much more than that. A bunch of groups got together and said, we're not putting up with this anymore.
Right.
Not to say that I agree with every one of those groups and all of their points, but I think I was trying to make a point on radicalization when we came into the break there in the last segment, Darryl, and I want to... So, I mean, we can look at radicalization as it happens to Islamicists, right? Those that are willing to harm people, that believe in, the Muslim religion. We can see that happens. And I suspect what happens is that they see the injustices on what they consider to be the other side. First, you've got to think about people in groups, not think about people individually.
Okay, so it requires me to basically reject everything that I believe because I believe in individualism.
Agreed, but would you agree that the vast majority of people, and yourself and your friends, your libertarian friend, at least sometimes, fall into this notion of thinking in groups?
Yes,
us.
I recognize that most people think in collectives.
Great.
And I try to, convince them otherwise.
Yep. And you fall into it every once in a while too?
Maybe.
Okay. I know I do.
I try not to, but
I try not
like
to, too.
every now and then I might, use the royal we when stating something.
I do my best.
I might say they occasionally.
I do my best not to, but it does happen. So when one falls into that line of thinking, then you can look at what the other side does, what they have done. It's easy to look at the injustices that they have committed and hard to look at the injustices that we have committed, whatever those might be. And I'm just talking about groups that are, conflict. And so when somebody hears that they are a bad person from somebody who looks or believes differently than them, and then they begin looking at that group and they find the injustices on that side. The injustices look worse because it's them, not us. And they just become more and more radicalized over time. And they take very personally what the ramblings of crazy people are on the internet. And it just goes from there. And that's what my point is on radicalization, is that America is becoming radicalized. Each side in this culture war, as it's been called, here's what their confidence is bolstered all the time that the other side is wrong, bad, and evil. And that isn't going to bring us together, and I don't know what is.
Right, and there are a lot of people that simply don't want to have any kind of understanding of other groups.
Yeah.
I saw a survey that was done recently, and I've not been able to locate where it was. But the survey was, what do Republicans think about Democrats? What do Democrats think about Republicans? Versus what are the actual makeups of Democrats and Republicans? And Republicans overestimated by a long shot the amount of minorities that were
Democrats
in the Democratic Party, both ethnic minorities plus what would be referred to as GSM, gender sexual minorities. So Republicans overestimated how many gay people were in the Democratic Party.
It's a whole bunch of black queer ladies.
Right, that was basically the thing. They're like, oh yeah, like 70% of the people are gay.
But this is true. What is true of the Democrats too. The Democrats believed that Republicans were all old, white, heterosexual men, and they were wrong on those numbers too.
Right. And both sides were wrong about, the
as if
estimates.
We are a nation of queer black women and old heterosexual men.
And the interesting thing was, and I'm surprised that the number was this low, only 40%, and I would have guessed that it would have been closer to like 85 or 90. 40% of people said that they belong to the political party that they belong to because they don't like the other party. So 40% of Republicans are Republicans because they don't like Democrats, not because they support anything that they think the Republican Party supports. Just, I don't like them, so therefore this.
Yeah. So
Same
not
thing
liking
with
them,
Democrats.
not liking them means liking something about your party too.
Not necessarily.
I mean, most people who are in a political party or even lean towards that political party disagree with some things in their political party, which presumably means they agree with some things in the other political party. But they weigh whatever it is, whether it's abortion or gun rights or whatever it is, they weigh that as an important thing. I've heard many, many, many times that the Second Amendment secures the First Amendment. Without the Second Amendment, we got no rights at all. Or without gun rights, we got no rights at all. Or whatever it is, many times in the Republican Party. And I disagree with that statement. I think that, if gun owners haven't picked up their weapons and used them against the government at this point, that they're not going to. The rights have been trampled on as far as they're going to be trampled on.
Right. It's like the people that have the thin blue line flag, the don't tread on me flag, and the Molon Labe.
All those things.
Who do you think's going to come and take it and do the treading?
Indeed. Matthew calling in from Louisiana. Matthew, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, Darryl. Mark, don't worry about what they call you. They used to call me gay when I was living in high school. So
just because you're like smaller or what?
No, because I grew up in Japan.
They called you gay?
Yes, I have a different way of behaving.
Hold on. Oh, I see. The American high school students called you gay because you had affected some mannerisms from growing up in Japan.
Right, called manners.
Yeah, well, don't worry. I got called gay because I have better diction than most. So, there's gay just means a bit different, at least at the time that they said it. So,
And back in the 1960s, it just meant happy.
Yeah, I'm not sure when it switched, but at some point it did.
Well, if you go back and you watch the Flintstones, it says, we'll have a gay old time.
Yeah, they do.
And they're talking about happy. They're not talking about Fred and Barney making each other's bed rock.
Yeah. Clever.
That's a good one, Darryl.
What's on your mind, Matthew?
Okay. I've actually called in to talk about the war on drugs. This is been on my mind for a couple of weeks. It's something that happened here in New Orleans. A couple of weeks ago, it was at the Chicken and Watermelon Shack on Claiborne Avenue.
All right.
There's a place that has the guts to call itself a Chicken and Watermelon Shack.
Right.
Okay.
And, I mean, these people, they put it right out there.
I bet it's good, too.
But from what I understand, their chicken is really good.
Yeah.
And they do serve fresh watermelon.
Nothing better.
So there's a line waiting to be served, and this one young gentleman ran in there, and he was chased by masked, hooded gunmen who proceeded to catch up to him after spraying the crowd with bullets.
Wow.
Yes.
How awful.
And they caught him. They wounded him enough to bring him down, and they stood over him and shot him dead.
Executed him. Okay.
Right. And then they ran off. Now, the police only know the organization they were associated with. And get this, it's called the Third NG Gang.
Third?
Which means Third NG.
Okay, so streets.
Right. And it means it's the corner of 3rd and Galvez in New Orleans.
So I'm sure you're getting somewhere with this, Matthew, and I want to give you the opportunity to make your point as regarding to the war on drugs. And yeah, well, you can call in at 855-450-3733, just as Matthew has. That's 855-450-FREE, or you can use the Discord chat at discord.freetalklive.com.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global, drop your personal crypto wallet addresses on the setup page, and then load the app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.global. AnyPay.global. Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 13,000 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed secure node systems of any cryptocurrency, and Zencash now has supernodes. Supernodes will advance the decentralization of the Zencash network and ensure the utility not only of Zencash as a currency, but also the future services that will be layered in the infrastructure. Learn more at zencash.com.
Have you had credit challenges, divorce, bankruptcy, or just haven't established your credit yet? If so, getting a decent car loan can be tough. The good news is that there is a place where you can get a car loan at a fair price regardless of your credit situation. Auto Loan Express can make it happen now when you visit newcar99.com. Here's the deal. If you have a regular job, then there's no reason to keep taking the bus or repairing that old junker. Go to newcar99.com today and fill out our simple online application. We accept over 99% of applicants and can get you behind the wheel of your new car with just a few strokes of your keyboard. No hassles, no third degree. Just fill out the simple online application and start shopping for your next car. So when you're ready to get on the road with your new car loan, visit us online at newcar99.com, where we accept 99% of all applications. newcar99.com. If you have a job, then you qualify. Here's to you and your new car. Visit newcar99.com. newcar99.com.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Cheryl.
I kind of stumbled onto you. I drive home from work on a Saturday night and heard you guys the first couple times I heard you, and I thought, what obnoxious jerks have they got on the radio?
You sound like my wife.
Yeah, and you know, I grew up very conservative, grew up in Kansas, moved to Florida, but you guys have really opened my mind.
Well, now, wait a minute. You opened your mind. We just gave you a few
I don't know.
tips.
You know, like I said, it was more of like a car wreck. I couldn't turn away.
Really?
You know, I had to listen to you because I'm like, I cannot believe what these guys are saying. And, you know, so I was a little, you know, I'm 43. You know, my daughter's 24. She'll be 25 this year. And, you know, it was kind of the stuff that was coming out of her mouth that I just took as kind of just a crazy youth thing. But you guys have absolutely opened my mind.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Stouffer's, helping bring your family together with wholesome dinner options, even on the busiest of nights. Find dinner table ideas to bring your family together at letsfixdinner.com. To get kids involved in dinnertime conversation, ask specific questions, not broad ones. Instead of what happened today at school, try what was the best thing that happened today. The more specific you are, the more they'll have to say. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live's Live Sunday edition. You can call in and talk about whatever you want to talk about. We'll get right here to your calls in just a moment. I want to tell you about Zencash. Zencash is one of these cryptocurrencies you've heard so much about. You've heard of Bitcoin. You know that there are other cryptocurrencies out there. You would presume that they have things that are different about them. What's different about Zencash? Zencash allows privacy. So, you know, with a Bitcoin, for instance, your transaction is preserved for eternity, basically, on the blockchain, and you know, at some point or another, somebody can potentially go back and track that transaction 10, 15, 20 years ago. Maybe when we have the government has enough computing power. I have no idea, but I can tell you that Zencash has a privacy feature and has now over 13,000 nodes. That makes it...
They've got about 17,000 total nodes split between secure and super.
Yep. And these nodes allow them to secure their network to some extent. It's not the only way to secure a network, and it's not the only type of security that there are. You can have thick walls and crappy doors, but you know, they've got some darn thick walls, and I think that that's pretty impressive, especially for you know, what's still a relatively nascent project. They allow you to send messaging if that's what you want to do on Zencash. I find it to be a really great currency, personally. So these supernodes, as you were talking about, will bring network, economic, and technical improvements across the network. It's the official Zencash wallet is available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. You can learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. I keep my Zencash usually on a Koinomi wallet, but that's just my preference. Zencash.com. Let's go back to Matt, who is talking about a crime that occurred at... what was the name of this place, Matthew?
Chicken and Watermelon on South Claiborne
Chicken and
Avenue.
Watermelon, Claiborne Avenue. Yes, it's supposed to have really good fried chicken. Okay,
this is in New Orleans.
So,
yes.
Yeah, this is in New Orleans. This is the city next to where I live. I live in Metairie, Louisiana, and one of the reasons I got out of New Orleans was because the government in New Orleans is insane. Okay, but the the third in G gang indicates to me that there must be a fourth in G gang, which is a rival gang, which, okay, this is really getting crazy.
This is the gang that This is the gang that perpetrated this execution that had a lot of injured bystanders, where they chased down, in Hooded, they chased down a young man and shot him, executed him at the
right.
restaurant.
So I found a story from NOLA.com.
Right.
From July 29th, this shooting happened on the 28th, and they say 3 dead, 7 injured.
Wow. So, I don't know that, we necessarily can. People often, gangs often seem to start up geographically, and the third and G gang there may not be a fourth and G gang. I have no clue one way or the other, but, the people who live in close proximity to that particular area are probably going to self-identify with that particular gang.
Right. And my contention, my point is, not being contentious with you, is that the large national gangs that you hear so much about, MS-13,
I've heard of them.
The Latin Kings.
Yeah, I don't even know if they exist anymore.
Large
Crips,
gangs,
Bloods.
I don't know if any of those exist anymore either.
Crips and Bloods still exist.
Okay.
Yeah, they've been taken down. So what happens? It creates a vacuum.
Yeah.
You haven't solved the problem.
Nope.
And guess what? The demand is still there for these mind-altering substances, and there will be people who will happily supply it. MS-13 doesn't operate on the street level anymore. They transport the stuff to the street level operators.
If you arrest a serial killer, killings go down in a given geographic area. If you arrest a burglar, burglaries go down in a geographic area. If you arrest an arsonist, arson goes down in a given geographic area. If you arrest a drug dealer, you have created a job opportunity and you have done nothing to prevent crime. If you want to stop the violence surrounding drugs, and that's what this is, we can presume. I mean, that's what I think you're leading up to here, Matthew. You can do what was done with alcohol.
Yes.
I'm not saying that violence doesn't surround alcohol anymore, but a lot less of it. You don't see Valentine's Day massacres occurring over the distribution of alcohol.
Right.
Alcohol's a very dangerous drug.
Yeah.
Right. Al Capone was a gangster because of Prohibition.
Yep. That's the truth.
Precisely. And I bring this point up to so many of my conservative friends, and they look at me as though I've grown a third eye.
Yeah, it's amazing. Conservatives, this isn't the sort of message that they get on a regular basis. They want to have something to say in many cases to rebut it, but sadly, there isn't much.
They'll just say something about, the downfall of morals, something, and we can arrest our way out of the problem.
What message does it send to our children if we legalize drugs? I don't know. The same message it sent to their children when they legalized alcohol.
Yeah.
What message? What message does it send to young people? I couldn't tell you precisely, except that maybe we care about your future and we don't want you to inherit a world where everyone's incarcerated, dead, or hooked on drugs.
Right. If we just make everything illegal, then crime goes away. Right? No, that's how you wind up with an increased crime rate.
Sure. Pull the other one, Darryl. It's got bells on it.
That's right. There's just no good defense for the war on drugs. Here's the people that benefit from the war on drugs. Organized crime, because they have something to do. Al Capone had something to do as a result. He did not get a job putting tar on roofs or delivering coal because he could make a lot more money distributing alcohol.
Yep.
It helps
precisely.
It helps district attorneys, so they have more cases to prosecute. It helps police officers, our public servants. But then again, they die in the process. But there's just a lot more of them. So people can, not the people who are most qualified to be police officers, but the people who are least
qualified. Does it really help the police if you think about it for a second? Because
job security,
quote unquote, community benefits from the illegal distribution of these narcotics. because I can guarantee you every one of these gang members has a mama who is benefiting from his activity. Not to mention the females that he may impregnate, and he may try to benefit them too. Because after all, it's a great lifestyle. You get,
not for long.
Well, not for long.
It's good until you get arrested, but
it doesn't take long to impregnate somebody.
No, it doesn't, but they enjoy every second.
Yeah, well, most do. Thanks for the call, man.
I absolutely guarantee you that. But they enjoy a great lifestyle for the short period of time they're here on Earth. And since they're pretty much convinced that they have no other life besides this, thank you, news media, they make the most of it. And I don't blame them one iota for doing what they're doing.
And we can also thank all of the occupational licensings, the various zoning laws, the giant hoops and hurdles that people have to jump through to open their own business,
yes.
minimum wage laws that wind up basically putting certain people in a life of poverty to where they think the only way out of poverty is a life of crime.
If you wanted to design a way to keep the largest amount of people in poverty, you couldn't do much better than what we do today. You would have to be overt.
Precisely.
So if you're going to create a bunch of rules that say that poor people can't start their own businesses, i.e. licensing and licensing regulations and that sort of thing.
Zoning.
You want to create to make illegal the fastest way to make money in their given area, which is to service drugs, which is it's outlawed. You can't sell these drugs at the pharmacies.
Right.
And so this is a fast, easy way to make money, and then you will lock them up for a good long time, making their children impoverished and all these other things. It's like it's designed to do that. Now,
right.
I don't know. That's a conspiracy theory.
I forget the percentages, but the percentage of the American population that is quote-unquote in poverty has not changed since the war on poverty was declared by Lyndon Johnson.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's obvious.
Yeah, and there's one last point.
It better be
then
quick.
Then they decide in their compassion to let them out of jail after they've held them in there for 20, 40 years.
Yeah, that's not compassion.
What are they going to do?
Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE.
Have you heard the warning from the dead doctors don't lie guy? I'm talking about Dr. Joel Wallach. He says if you have a 4-inch medical chart, if you take prescription drugs for high cholesterol or high blood pressure, arthritis, joint pains, or other health issues, the medical profession is failing you. They're using you for an ATM machine. That's what he says. He has a free lecture revealing what pharmaceutical companies don't want you to know. There's been groundbreaking research and discoveries on how to effectively treat or eliminate over 900 different diseases naturally. And it's all in his free lecture called Deadly Recipe. You want it free? Call him toll free at 855-79-YOUNG. You ready? 855-79-YOUNG. Dr. Joel Wallach, the dead doctors don't lie guy, says there's no reason why we shouldn't live to be at least 100 and have a great time getting there.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, August 12th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.31 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,211 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $19, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,259. Antiwar.com reports while it comes nearly 3 months too late to have any bearing on CIA Director Gina Haspel's confirmation vote, a series of newly declassified cables are offering unprecedented insight into the specifics of torture carried out at the CIA black site Haspel was running. The documents are available at the National Security Archive. They are heavily redacted, but it is speculated that they may have been written by Haspel herself and describe the extended use of violence against detainees. The documents involve a lot of flowery language praising the cat-like way interrogators entered the room before torturing suspects and promising to make one of them suffer in ways he never thought possible. Specifics of the CIA torture program have largely been withheld from the public despite supposedly having ended years ago. Haspel's role in the torture made her confirmation as CIA director particularly controversial, especially since President Trump has publicly espoused the merits of torture on several occasions. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. UPI reports a judge has rejected 2 men's no-contest plea deals on involuntary manslaughter charges in the 2016 ghost ship warehouse fire in Oakland, California that killed 36 people. Alameda County Superior Judge James Kramer capped 2 days of emotional testimony of families of the individuals who died during a dance concert at the warehouse on December 2, 2016, tossed out plea deals of the 2 defendants on Friday. Kramer rejected the no-contest plea deal of Derek Almena, one of the 2 co-founders of the facility, arrested in June 2017 for allegedly allowing dangerous conditions in the building that led to the fire, saying he did not show remorse. Since Max Harris, the second co-founder and accused of the same thing, had his no-contest plea wrapped up in the same package, his plea was rejected as well. Kramer said after listening to statements from families of the victims and defendants over a 2-day hearing that was expected to end with the sentencing of Almena and Harris, I am expressly rejecting the plea bargains as to Mr. Almena. I do not know that it will do any of these victims any good. Some of the families of victims applauded the decision in the courtroom and shouted yes, while some of the other victims' families gasped and cried, and attorneys seemed surprised. Under the plea deals, Almena, the ghost ship's master tenant, was to receive a 9-year prison sentence. Harris, the Artist Collective's executive director, was to receive a 6-year sentence. With credit for time served and good behavior, Almena could have been released in less than 4 years and Harris in less than 2, sparking outrage from victims' families that prompted another look. The plea deal was made under a different judge, Morris Jacobson, and finalized last month. Unless another plea deal is accepted, the case will now go to trial. When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more. Reuters reports the airline worker who stole an empty airplane from a Seattle airport on a flight that ended in his death once ran a bakery with his wife and enjoyed the benefits that came with his job to travel the world. According to a webpage he set up for a college communications class, Richard Russell was a 29-year-old man living in Sumner, Washington, who was born in Key West, Florida, and moved to Wasilla, Alaska when he was 7 years old. He has not officially been named, but multiple news media outlets reported his identity, citing interviews with family, co-workers, and law enforcement sources working the case. years. Russell worked for Horizon Airlines, a sister of carrier Alaska Airlines, as a ground service agent. Russell reportedly commandeered an empty Bombardier Q400 turboprop aircraft on Friday night from a maintenance area at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. He flew for about an hour before crashing on Cretin Island in Puget Sound, about 25 miles to the southwest. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
It's the Onion Radio News. Raccoon leaders call for the loosening of garbage can lids. This is Doyle Redland reporting. In a 4 a.m. speech at the group's annual Washington, D.C. convention this morning, North American Raccoon Federation President Bristletail called upon homeowners to loosen the lids of their garbage cans, providing the ring-tailed mammals with greater access to discarded food scraps during nocturnal scavenging.
Every time you seal a standard 30-gallon garbage can, as many as 6 raccoons are forced to go without their necessary daily supply of congealed baked beans, rancid cottage cheese chunks, and moldy cantaloupe rinds.
The 26-pound varmint closed his speech with a stern warning that without raccoons, possums could take over the world. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. It's the live Sunday edition, and you are welcome to call in and talk about, well, whatever you'd like, freely, here, live, on the air, on more than 190 radio stations across the U.S., thanks to people in the Amplifiers program over at amp.freetalklive.com, and thanks to people like Darryl, who's sitting across from me. You and Ian spend a good portion of your day calling radio stations, trying to get them to carry Free Talk Live. I'd say we have one of the best affiliate sales, that's what they call that, affiliate sales organizations in the business, because although we aren't large, it's hosts that are making the calls.
Right, and I've had several program directors, and so has Ian, mentioned that, most of the other shows, it's not the host.
No.
And then most other shows, once you get them reeled in, if you will,
they never hear from them again.
Most other shows never call, and we call every couple of months. Hey, just want to make sure you're happy. See, do you need new liners? Do you need, and liners for people that might not know the term, that's the thing. At the end of a promo where it will say you're listening to fill in the blank station, fill in the blank spot on the dial, and then whatever the little catchphrase is.
We create commercials for Free Talk Live for the radio station to air whenever they feel like it, that have our voice in it, that are specialized for their station. So we'll say, you're listening to 1490 in Poughkeepsie, New York, or wherever it is,
right?
And 1490 The Bird, WW,
the location of the
BR,
station, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of just trying to come up with something on the fly that's probably not even an actual station.
We've been told over and over again that we do radio affiliation the right way.
Yes.
And we frankly do sales that same way. You talk to me when you buy ads for Free Talk Live. It's if you want any of that information on buying ads, it's mark at freetalklive.com. Let's go into this article that I was trying to get to last night. And this happens all the time, especially on Saturday nights, where we say one thing in the first segment, and it just goes off the rails.
Right. Saturday is the biggest on-radio night that we have.
But not by much. There's just a few big affiliates that really sort of fill in the gaps.
Right.
If you're listening on a smaller affiliate around the United States, there's no particular reason why you can't call in, especially if it's from 7 to 10. Now, you may be listening at a different time. You'll have to set a little alarm, maybe in your computer, your watch, whatever it is, however you set alarms for yourself.
Right.
If you want to talk about something. But we're still here for you. And yes, if you heard something in the podcast that we talked about a week ago, it's still okay. We call it Free Talk Live because you can call in and talk about whatever you want.
Right. You might have to refresh our memory about what we talked about last night or in the first hour of tonight.
Yes, and but it's fine. That's what we do here on Free Talk Live. We make it available for you to call in about what you want to talk about at that moment in time, and it doesn't matter that you've derailed us. Don't worry, we can handle that.
Yes.
Thanks so much.
So what's this thing? I wasn't listening last night.
Yep.
So what was the thing that you wanted to get to? And you may have teased it. I don't know.
If you got all of your information off social media and the news and these sorts of things, you would believe that in America, rich people are getting richer and poor people are getting poorer, right?
If you only ever listen to people like Bernie and what's that chick in New York, Ocasio-Cortez, whoever. But if you actually look at studies that are done on regular bases, then you will see that, no, point of fact, everybody's wealth is increasing. The gap between the quote-unquote rich and the quote-unquote poor might be growing, but let me give an example to explain how that might wind up being, even though both are increasing at the same percentage. So let's say, Mark, you have $5,000.
Yep.
And I have $500.
Yep.
Somebody says, I will give each of you an extra 10% of what you have.
I get $5,500. You get $550.
Right. I would receive an extra 50. You would receive an extra 500. We both got a 10% increase, but now the gap between what you have and the gap between what I have has grown.
Let me, I think I've got a better example. Let me try this one out on you, and you can use it if you want, Darryl. So I'm a lawyer. You're a paralegal. I just started at the firm. So did you. We started the same day.
All right.
I get paid as a, junior associate $100 an hour.
All right.
And you get paid as a junior paralegal $10 an hour.
All right.
So we work hard, and as a team, you and I do great. We are kick butt. By the end of 1 year, we both get raises from junior to associate, and from junior paralegal to paralegal. Right.
All right.
Your pay is doubled from $10 an hour to $20 an hour. My pay is doubled from $10 an hour to $100 an hour to $200 an hour.
Yep.
Now, we have both had our pay doubled.
Yes.
We both are making a lot more money than we did before. Both of us are happy, and our lives are better.
Yes.
However, the wealth gap between us went from $90 an hour to $180 an hour. It just doubled.
Right.
There's 100%. Now, as a good lawyer, what I should be doing is I should be buying your lunches, making sure that there's donuts in the office, whatever it is that makes you happy. Flowers on your desk. I don't know. I don't care. I should be caring for you as my underling or whatever, so that you're pretty happy about it. So there's two factors coming into play here. Now, everybody would say that doubling of your pay is good, but the wealth gap, for those that like to point out how things are bad in the world, the wealth gap just doubled. Two things are at play. One thing is that humans have this sort of inborn understanding of what is fair that may not be mature or ready for modern society. So they did a study on capuchin monkeys, and they rewarded capuchin.
Those are the helper monkeys. Right?
I don't know what kind of monkeys they are. I just remember the name of the type of monkeys. And they rewarded these monkeys for tasks that they did. Now, you could give the monkey there's this good treat and the crappy treat. A good treat is a grape. A bad treat is like a cucumber. And there's different types of them, but we'll just call one good, one bad. Capuchin monkeys have preferences.
Yep.
And so if their capuchin monkey is working by itself, you can either give it a good treat or a bad treat, and it's happy. You can put both monkeys together, two monkeys together, and you can give them both good treats and both bad treats, and they're happy. But if you start putting two capuchin monkeys together and you give one good treats for doing a task and you give one bad treats for doing a task, over time, you will find that the one that gets the bad treats is very, very angry at you, at the other monkey. Like, they get really upset. So it's not the task, it's not the treat, it is the disparity between the treats. So this is the wealth gap.
And this test that you're talking about, the monkeys are able to see what the other monkey is getting, correct?
Correct. That's the idea. So this is the wealth gap shown in primates, and it's fascinating.
Right. And as I suspected, the capuchin monkeys, or capuchin, I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce it.
You can pronounce it however you want.
Those are the helper monkeys.
Okay, great.
There are various organizations that train these monkeys on how to help people with various disabilities.
The other thing that is in place is that humans are generally happy with their life if things tend to get better over time.
Right.
Now, we like them to get particularly better. Like, they don't tend to get better at the pace. Like, real life does not tend to get better at the pace that we would like it to. But I can tell you that, as an ex-convict being locked up for many years with people who had bad ideas of how quickly their life should get better, that, when I look back, following the straight and narrow when I got out of prison was a lot more beneficial for me than my friends who chose to go the other direction.
Right.
And these two things kind of work against each other. On one hand, if you just kind of keep doing your thing, your life is going to get better. On the other hand, that other guy's getting more. 855-450-FREE, Free Talk Live.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
From the first letter of Captain Mark. History is full of flowery documents claiming to limit the power of the crown, but these poetic social contracts have been impotent to prevent the predation. Limited government is a lie they use to keep us submissive. The crown cannot be trusted to abide by its founding charters, nor its treaties, nor even its own rules. The essence of the crown is centralized violence, and I've had enough. That's why I raised my black banner. I am no revolutionary. My aim is not to reset the cycle of violence, but to break it. My aim is an evolved society, invisible to the crown. Not a new hierarchy, but decentralized networks with no central figure for the crown to target. If you want your servile life, keep it, but we will not submit to the crown's agenda. And when you are ready to stop being its beast of burden, ready for adventure and opportunity, join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. We're talking about household incomes here on Free Talk Live. You're welcome to chime in. The number's 855-450-3733. Or you can use Discord at discord.freetalklive.com. It's Mark with you.
And Darryl. And for years, libertarians have wanted a directory of liberty-minded businesses. There have been a lot of attempts, but none have really seemed to stay around very long. Well, one that basically got relaunched about a year ago seems to be doing a pretty good job of sticking around, and that would be Liberty.menu. Liberty.menu is a tool for our community. At its core is a directory for events, businesses, digital content, and more. Listings can be rated and reviewed, kind of like on Yelp, but there's also a bit of a social networking aspect where you can connect and share with other users. Use of Liberty.menu is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. Put your voluntarist ideas into action at Liberty.menu. And since use of the site is free, we can't give you discounts, but we can give you a really nice badge that indicates that you listen to Free Talk Live. So when you go to Liberty.menu, type in code FTL in the activity code section, and you get a nice little badge that indicates that you listen to Free Talk Live. Liberty.menu. Use code FTL.
I think that I'm just going to go ahead and give a very large discount on the free opportunities there at Liberty.menu. You can have 100% off of the free listings there.
100% off of the free listings. Now, you can upgrade the listing.
Yeah, you don't get any discount on there.
You don't get discounts on the upgrades. But you can still get that shiny Free Talk Live listener badge.
Yep. Liberty.menu. Right there. So, I was brought out this article because I feel like there's two competing natures within humans, that you're hearing much of it on one side. The mainstream media would have you believe that, and it is true, the wealth gap is growing. Now, we talked in the last segment about how that can be and that sort of thing. On the other side, that life is progressively getting better for people in households. And I'm going to read you this article to prove that statement. But what I want you to know is you get to choose. You get to pick. You can decide what you focus on. Because what you focus on is what's going to drive you forward.
What do you mean you get to choose?
You get to choose what you focus on.
You get to choose either the standard of living going up or the wealth gap expanding?
Right. The wealth gap expanding is bad news to people.
You're saying you get to choose whether you think it's a good thing that the standard of living is improving.
Yes, but people never get told that the standard of living is improving. They just get hold.
I hear it all the time.
Where?
From websites like Fee, Reason, where people put out these statistics about, how the wealth gap expands, and then, somebody that uses other research says, well,
that's what I'm doing here
look
right
at
now.
This. The average American now has, like a car. They have air conditioning. They have central plumbing. They have, all of these things that 100 years ago, the wealthiest people in the country did not have.
I think everybody understands.
That is an improvement in the, the standard of living.
Sure. The average person doesn't get news from Fee or Reason or any of these places. They get news from the mainstream media. And the mainstream media...
The average person has access to this thing called the internet.
They do.
Which means they can get this news.
If you look at where Fee and Reason rank compared to CNN, Fox, MSN, you will see that there's a giant disparity.
Oh, you're talking about people that rely solely on television for news instead of people that actually, look online.
You are consuming what they call pull media, and you are on what they call push media. All right, so Free Talk Live is push media. We push out information to people who are riding along in their cars, who are listening on stations that have Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, and these sorts of hosts on them.
There are also some progressive stations that take us.
There are a handful of progressive stations in the nation, and a much larger percentage of progressive stations in the nation carry Free Talk Live, but there are far, far fewer of them.
Right.
If you see hoof prints in the dirt, you shouldn't presume it's a zebra. Going on with my point. Household incomes, 50-year perspective. It's not a new article, but it's not a particularly old one either. It's within the last year. Coming from information from the United States Census Bureau in its annual report on household income data for 2016. Last year, the median average income in the household rose a 4.1%. So 4.1% households did better from 2015 to 2016.
All right.
The median average income adjusted for inflation is also at a record high above the peak of, so we're at a peak. So highest household income ever.
When adjusted for inflation,
That's
which is
really important.
also very important.
Yeah, very, very important. All the numbers I'm going to tell you here, ladies and gentlemen, are adjusted for inflation. I'll probably tell you that again because people are tuning in and tuning out all the time on the radio, and It's really important. I don't want you to use this as an excuse as I go through these numbers while they're talking about whatever happened 100 years ago or whatever.
Right, and it's very important because I forget what I was listening to earlier today where they were talking about some of the highest grossing movies of all time, and for a fairly long time, Gone with the Wind was one of the highest grossing movies ever, and then Avatar surpassed it, and somebody pointed out, well, yeah, but when Gone with the Wind was in the theaters, the ticket prices were like
$1,
20
a nickel.
cents.
Right.
Yeah. And, so the highest grossing movies, they don't adjust those figures for inflation.
Right. So the inflation adjusted number is $58,000, almost $59,000
per household.
Over $59,000. The real household income, by real I mean the today's U.S. dollars amount, is $83,000. So that's the difference here. I'm going to try mostly to talk about inflation adjusted numbers, inflation adjusted income numbers. So most people think in nominal terms. So the first chart below illustrates the current dollar values for the 6 cohorts across a 50-year period. In other words, the value of the dollar at the time received, not adjusted for inflation. What we see are the nominal growth patterns over the complete data sets in addition to the 5 quantities. The Census Bureau publishes the income for the top 5 percentiles of households. So this is the mean average household income by quintile. And what a quintile is you've got
20%.
Yeah,
20%. Chunks of 20.
Chunks of 20%. So you got the top 20%, the bottom 20%, and 3 20% in between.
Yes.
So what that is the lower class, the upper class, and then middle class, and then upper and lower middle class.
Yes.
And the numbers are better for everybody year upon year.
Yes.
Pretty much every year. Every 5 years, certainly, people are doing better and better.
Right, and there are some people that were in that lower quintile 5 years ago that are no longer in that quintile.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live.
Did you know that safe drinking water is the second most essential human need? Don't take your water for granted. Know what you're drinking. Get a ProPure 10 in-home water test kit for just $20, a $39 value, and test for 10 different water contaminants and conditions. Takes about 10 minutes and works with most potable city and well water sources. No salesman will call. Order your test kit today and receive a $20 coupon good towards the purchase of a ProPure water filter system. Visit a participating authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com.
If you like alkaline water, or know someone that does, you're going to love the Dylan Living Water Bottle. It creates alkaline water on the go while reducing plastic waste and saving you money. Made with surgical-grade stainless steel, the Dylan bottle increases the pH up to 9 to deliver both alkaline and antioxidant water anywhere you want it. Alkaline water is healthier, tastes better, and can even boost energy. The Dylan bottle makes it easy and affordable to be healthy and achieve optimal hydration. Get your Dylan bottle today at dyln.co. That's dyln.co.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. It's a live Sunday edition. You can call in and talk about whatever you want to talk about. We are talking about rising household income. Over 50 years, but, we're going to talk about just sort of household income generally and what it's been doing. I think this is important to look at because you can look at bad financial news. You can say, the rich are getting richer and the disparity between rich and poor is growing. And that's not a lie. That's true.
Right. It's a misrepresentation of
It's irrelevant.
facts.
Well, it's not a misrepresentation. It's irrelevant in the sense that does it really matter what somebody living in Beverly Hills is making compared to you?
No.
No, it doesn't. There's just no relationship. If your boss is making a lot of money, if CEOs are making a lot of money, whatever, it doesn't matter for you in your life if you don't want it to. You could focus on that because it's true.
Right, but when I say it's a misrepresentation of fact, you just presented some numbers in the last segment that show that every quintile, and a quintile is chunks of 20%.
Yep.
The median income for each of those quintiles has increased.
Yep.
So just because somebody else's, income increased at a larger rate than yours increased is a misrepresentation of the fact that your income increased as well.
Yep. And this is just a look at the quintiles. And the quintiles are, like lower class, lower middle class, upper middle class, and upper class.
Right. And, just presenting these quintiles doesn't show that some people are able to move from the lower quintile to the second quintile.
Yep.
Or to the third quintile.
And that happens all of the time. Now, for that to happen, you have to, basically somebody has to move out too. Let me tell you real quick about my great-grandparents.
All right.
So my great-grandparents, they were in steel in New York.
All right.
And they made a lot of money. They were definitely top 1%ers.
All right.
My grandfather, because this often happens, is the children of people who do well tend to be entitled brats. My grandfather drank a lot.
All right.
Why wouldn't he? He really had nothing better to do. He was a wealthy kid who had a trust, had money given to him, and I know what he was. I know what kind of money he had because I knew his brother. Now, he drank so much that he died of cirrhosis well before I was born, but not well before he knocked up my grandmother 3 good times. And my grandmother, being the hardworking child of an immigrant, decided that she was going to, she never really wanted to rely on the money of her in-laws. And her in-laws never really cottoned to her much anyway because, their son was a loser, ultimately. I mean, he was a wealthy loser, but a loser nonetheless. And so they threw money at my uncles because they wanted to go to college, but my mother chose not to go to college. She wanted to go into the working world and wanted to get the heck out of New York when it was really, really cold, moved her butt down south as quickly as she could. She probably should have taken that money for college, but young people are funny, and they don't always make the best decisions. So here you have, my mother marries a guy who works as a mold maker at Tropicana, and I'm raised in a house where we don't have a washer and dryer. We don't have central air. This is Florida, mind you. We don't have air conditioning. There isn't a single wall unit at the house because they don't want to pay for the money to run an air conditioner. We didn't have air conditioning at my house at all.
In Florida?
Yep, in Florida.
All right.
Now, I don't know whether we were lower class or lower middle class, but it would have been somewhere around that line. And there you went from a top 1%er, and in 2 generations, bang, bang, you're down to lower middle class. Now,
Right.
my mother managed to work her way up, hard work and all that good stuff, maturity and these sorts of things, and went back into middle class, upper middle class. She's always said she was upper middle class, but I think that's just what she thinks, not what the truth was. And whatever the case may be. People move through these classes all the time because what it takes to get into that upper class is not what it takes to stay in that upper class.
Right.
It's very difficult for people to transmit to their children their values.
Correct.
And the kind of thing that gets you there isn't the kind of thing that keeps you there necessarily. So one thing, for instance, Warren Buffett has said that he's going to give most of his money away. He's giving a measly $10 million to each of his children. But
only $10 million?
Yeah. They're still winning the lottery, as it were.
Right.
But who knows what's going to happen with that money once Warren Buffett's going to die. You will hear news in all likelihood in the next 5 years, Warren Buffett dies. Because he's an old man, And I mean, the Reaper doesn't care how much money you have.
Right.
These things happen. So just pointing out that whatever you might think about classes and how the rich stay rich and the poor that doesn't happen that much.
Right.
Mostly people don't keep their money. If you're very, very wealthy and you do the very smart things and you may be able to keep your progeny in wealth for several generations, but let's be serious, why would you want to? If I'm wealthy, why do I want my grandchildren to be wealthy? What I'd like them to be is go-getters. I want them to be driven. I want them to be successful. I want them to create things in the world. I wouldn't want to just give them a bunch of money. Why do I want to create two generations of layabout losers?
Right.
The last thing I want to do. And, as a result, I don't even give my son an allowance. He does not get free money.
There are ways, and I don't know, what the actual practicalities and how all of these things go about, but there are ways to add stipulations to people receiving funds.
Sure.
So I don't know if that might be a possibility that somebody might want to consider.
I don't know the best ways to handle inheritances or anything like that. I'm not an expert in that. But what I do believe is that in America, if you have the right attitude, if you get to change your attitude. The most influential person in my life was a drug treatment counselor in prison that would come in every morning and he'd say, positive middle attitude. And seriously, how cynical we must have been with this guy saying it over and over again. But at some point he got through to me and I realized that my attitude was the largest impediment for success in my life. That it was my cynicism, my holding on to this idea of irony, that's what was keeping me back. And I adopted his unabashed, passionate belief in a positive mental attitude. And I think that is what has served me well in my life. Maybe it's caused me to be a little too optimistic, giving up my great job as a potential associate publisher for a lifestyle magazine in Sarasota that was paying me really well in order to travel to New Hampshire to work for a newly nationally syndicated radio program. Might have been overly optimistic. It worked out, but could have been rough. Let me tell you about these numbers coming out for real income growth. Now that's in adjusted for inflation dollars.
And again, where are these numbers coming from?
These are U.S. Census numbers that are put together by advisorperspectives.com.
All right.
So if you look at over 50 years, the bottom quintile's mean income right now is $12,943. So almost $13,000 per year. That's pretty low. That's the poverty level. But that number has gone up in 50 years almost 29%.
All right.
That means that poor people are 29% better off than they were in this time 50 years ago. What year is that? 1990, 2018, so 1968.
Yes.
So that's pretty impressive. That means that things are going pretty well here in the United States. I don't know what it's like in other countries, but you don't hear news like that. I've got some more numbers. 855-450-3733. If you have any questions or if you have any thoughts, 855-450-FREE, Free Talk Live.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
What's What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
This is Jessica Armand, founder of My Magic Mud. Our team helped organize a successful effort to remove fluoride from our city's water supply. This is our passion. My Magic Mud Oral Care purifies and brightens your smile naturally. GCN listeners, please support my family business by purchasing our products from your local health food store. We're also available at CVS Pharmacy, or visit us at mymagicmud.com and take 10% off now with coupon code GCN10.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp, is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live's Live Sunday edition. You can call in and talk about whatever's on your mind. It's Mark with you.
And Darryl. And cryptotip.org is something that you probably want to look at, especially if you're a cryptocurrency advocate. CryptoTip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card size tip that you give to a service provider, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it brings up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and then allows them to claim the amount that you put on the tip. And that's right. You get to decide how much you want to put on the tip. You want to put $3 on there? You can put $3. You want to put $30? You can put $30, any number at all. And if they don't claim the tip, it doesn't get lost into the ether.
Nope.
It comes back to you after a set period of time.
That's the best feature of this.
Right. And, there are different time frames. I think 1 month is the shortest period of time. You can do, I think, 1, 3, 6, 9, and 12 months. And
it also gives instructions to people on how to use the cryptocurrency you've just given them, which is something you can't do with a server sometimes, and certainly they're not writing it down.
Right. And, people that have been using cryptocurrency for a while might remember just giving people what are called paper wallets, where it's got the private key on one side, the public key on the other. Well, if nobody ever redeemed that, then that cryptocurrency is just lost. And there's an estimate that there are millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin that are just lost on paper wallets that people gave away.
It's true. It's true.
And what I would consider to be the best part of the crypto tip is you get an email alert when somebody redeems the crypto tip. Create as many as you want. CryptoTip.org. CryptoTip.org with both Dash and Bitcoin Cash.
So I'm going to tell you here shortly about the changes in income over time, and this is inflation-adjusted income here in the United States. And to me, I consider this to be really great news.
Right, and again, you're saying that this is information that you've never seen before.
I have seen information like this. I just wanted to see it quantified specifically because I don't think we hear this. I think what we hear is the gap between the rich and the poor is getting larger and larger. And people believe that to mean that rich people are getting richer and poor people are getting poorer.
Right, and that's not the case at all.
That's a big fat lie.
And these numbers come out all the time, and, just...
Americans don't see financial numbers much. The media doesn't report them. They're boring. You've got to you got to explain them to people. Let's go to Libertarian Banker calling in here, and the phone lines, the toll-free line, 855-450-3733. Libertarian Banker, you're calling on Free Talk Live.
Hey guys, I love this conversation here. So you're absolutely right, Mark. I mean, the pie is getting bigger, so to speak. But the rich are taking a bigger slice of it year after year, and that I think that is a result of government interference in the financial markets in the form of the Federal Reserve, which is basically just a cartel of banks that controls the supply of money. Which, when you control the supply of something, you control the price of money, which is the interest rate.
Yeah, so, that much is one thing's for certainly true, right? Like bankers get first crack at the dollars that are created, and bankers tend to be rich. They tend to be in this top 5%, top 1%, and
well, here we're talking about chunks of 20%.
We actually have the numbers for the top 5% also.
But I think there's a greater thing that's happening there too, which is that you fix the price of anything when the government tries to determine what the price should be. There are gaps that obviously open up because price is meant to be a communication, a signal of what a person should do, whether to buy or to not buy something, right?
Yep.
So, for example, the rich can borrow at extremely low interest rates like we've had over the past decade or maybe 2 decades. And they can borrow at that low interest rate and then take it and create businesses and invest their money in other projects that then make them more money, which the Federal Reserve, when more money is demanded by the free market, the price of money should go up, which would then put a damper on that demand. But when the government doesn't know, or the Federal Reserve doesn't know where the price should be of money, that doesn't happen.
Yep.
The price signal does not reach those buyers of money, so to speak, and creates bubbles in the economy.
Yep, and this is what results in many cases these recessions and these sorts of things is because people are getting the wrong signals from money. And from the creation of money, they're getting the wrong signals. Therefore, they're reacting incorrectly. Now, people will always react incorrectly in the marketplace, but if you want a whole bunch of them to react incorrectly, like let's continue to buy houses at higher and higher prices because they keep going up and up and up, well, then you're going to have a real problem, a la the great recession that occurred in 2006, right after the housing bubble.
Right, and when you guarantee student loans, then of course colleges are going to wind up increasing tuition because they can, because they're just seeing an influx of quote-unquote free money.
Right. You're predicting the next bubble, and you may very well be right, Darryl. I don't know what it's going to be like. I don't know how it's going to affect these young people that are paying all this money for these degrees, in many cases that are pretty much completely worthless.
There was a report that came out a couple days ago that student loan debt is now at $1.52 trillion.
Yep, it's coming, folks.
Well, and unlike student loan debt, the Federal Reserve is creating something that it's like a frog boiling in water. Nobody knows it's happening to them because it just happens so slowly over time, and it's not like it affects them on their day-to-day basis. I mean, for example, since the low interest rates, since the crash happened, I mean, you have companies that are basically exchanging debt for equity. So there's two ways to fund your company. You either put out stock or you borrow money. So they've basically been borrowing money to buy back their stocks, which then increases the price of stocks and makes the rich even richer, and is one of the reasons that the stock market's at an all-time high right now.
Right.
Because people and companies can borrow very low and buy back stocks. What create shareholder value that really doesn't even exist.
You're predicting another bubble, or you're predicting a fall in stock prices here, and I would agree that that's the probable, almost certain future. Is that when stock prices are at almost at all-time highs, time to sell, baby. Where would you put your money?
Look, I mean,
now you're asking for investment advice.
I am.
Well, I mean, this isn't investment advice, but what I personally do is try to spread it out among a bunch of different asset classes, whether that's gold or crypto or stocks or whatever it is, bonds, other commodities. You just got to spread it out because you never know, and over time, these things tend to work themselves out. So.
Yeah, I'm liking metals and crypto right now, but nobody's got a crystal ball. Thanks for the call, Libertarian Banker.
Now, Mark, one thing that I'm curious here, and you're saying that these numbers are talking about the averages or the mean incomes for these different quintiles. Do they talk about what the mean wealth is?
What do you mean by mean wealth? I've got a percentage increase and I have today's amount.
All right, so let's say that your mean income or your income for the year is $85,000.
I wish. All right.
I'm just throwing out some numbers, but you've got $300,000 worth of debt. And your assets are only $100,000.
No.
You now have a negative net worth.
I believe
Do
Americans
they have that?
No. I believe Americans are now spending darn close to what they're making again.
And that is a number that I would really love to see instead of just, here's what the incomes are.
Yeah, that's always a predictor of a fall. But what I'm trying to talk about is some good news here. And the good news is lower middle class. We just said lower class is up 29% to almost $13,000 per year. But lower middle class is making $34,500 per year, up almost 24%. Middle class is This is the mean. This is right smack dab in the middle.
Yep.
$59,149. So $59,000 per year is what the middle class is making. And that's up over 50 years, 33%. The person in right smack dab in the middle is better off by 33% than they were 50 years ago. And this is inflation-adjusted numbers.
Right.
No one can say Americans are getting poorer. They can say the rich are getting richer, but they can't say the poor are getting poorer. Not true in America.
Right, and chances are the people in that lowest quintile actually have a higher net worth than the middle class just because of all the debt.
855-450-3733. Free Talk Live, your calls.
It's been said, Any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And our crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years from My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, August 12th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.31 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,211 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $19, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,259. Antiwar.com reports while it comes nearly 3 months too late to have any bearing on CIA Director Gina Haspel's confirmation vote, a series of newly declassified cables are offering unprecedented insight into the specifics of torture carried out at the CIA black site Haspel was running. The documents are available at the National Security Archive. They are heavily redacted, but it is speculated that they may have been written by Haspel herself and describe the extended use of violence against detainees. The documents involve a lot of flowery language praising the cat-like way interrogators entered the room before torturing suspects and promising to make one of them suffer in ways he never thought possible. Specifics of the CIA torture program have largely been withheld from the public despite supposedly having ended years ago. Haspel's role in the torture made her confirmation as CIA director particularly controversial, especially since President Trump has publicly espoused the merits of torture on several occasions. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. UPI reports a judge has rejected 2 men's no contest plea deals on involuntary manslaughter charges in the 2016 ghost ship warehouse fire in Oakland, California that killed 36 people. Alameda County Superior Judge James Kramer capped 2 days of emotional testimony of families of the individuals who died during a dance concert at the warehouse on December 2nd, 2016, tossed out plea deals of the 2 defendants on Friday. Kramer rejected the no contest plea deal of Derek Almena, one of the 2 co-founders of the facility, arrested in June 2017 for allegedly allowing dangerous conditions in the building that led to the fire, saying he did not show remorse. Since Max Harris, the second co-founder and accused of the same thing, had his no contest plea wrapped up in the same package, his plea was rejected as well. Kramer said after listening to statements from families of the victims and defendants over a 2-day hearing that was expected to end with the sentencing of Almena and Harris, I am expressly rejecting the plea bargains as to Mr. Almena. I do not know that it will do any of these victims any good. Some of the families of victims applauded the decision in the courtroom and shouted yes, while some of the other victims' families gasped and cried, and attorneys seemed surprised. Under the plea deals, Almena, the Ghost Ship's master tenant, was to receive a 9-year prison sentence. Harris, the Artist Collective's executive director, was to receive a 6-year sentence. With credit for time served and good behavior, Almena could have been released in less than 4 years and Harris in less than 2, sparking outrage from victims' families that prompted another look. The plea deal was made under a different judge, Morris Jacobson, and finalized last month. Unless another plea deal is accepted, the case will now go to trial.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Reuters reports the airline worker who stole an empty airplane from a Seattle airport on a flight that ended in his death once ran a bakery with his wife and enjoyed the benefits that came with his job to travel the world. According to a webpage he set up for a college communications class, Richard Russell was a 29-year-old man living in Sumner, Washington, who was born in Key West, Florida, and moved to Wasilla, Alaska when he was 7 years old. He has not officially been named, but multiple news media outlets reported his identity, citing interviews with family, co-workers, and law enforcement sources working the case. Russell worked for Horizon Airlines, a sister of carrier Alaska Airlines, as a ground service agent. Russell reportedly commandeered an empty Bombardier Q400 turboprop aircraft on Friday night from a maintenance area at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. He flew for about an hour before crashing on Cretin Island in Puget Sound, about 25 miles to the southwest. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
We're being attacked by news from all sides in tonight's News Blitz. Now we're homing in on Houston, Texas, where NASA announced today that the crew of the International Space Station has successfully completed their 13-year mission studying man's ability to constantly repair a large object in space. NASA officials hailed the remarkable feat of maintenance at a press conference this afternoon.
And throughout human history, man has gazed at the stars and dreamed of fixing something up there. People once thought the ultimate feat in human repair was a really big boat. Today, we've accomplished so much more.
This comes in the wake of NASA's previous success, finding out how many times an astronaut could hold something in his hand, then let it go, watch it float in front of his face for a bit, then catch it again. All right, dust yourself off. You have survived the News Blitz.
Tune in tomorrow morning to Today Now. We'll look back at Jim's week as a polygamist.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's the live Sunday edition of Free Talk Live. You're listening to Mark
and Darryl.
You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind here on Free Talk Live. We've been across the board this evening, talking about the Unite the Right rally that wasn't, the war on drugs, rising household income, good attitudes, good results, those sorts of things. And you're welcome to comment on that or anything else that's on your mind. Darryl, I was interested in this article that you've got regarding the top gamer in the world. I don't even know that they have these things. How does a person make a living doing games? But whatever. Top gamer refuses to play with female players or something?
Yeah, so article here from Sci-Fi Wire says that Tyler Ninja Blevins, somebody I've never heard of before, but apparently is the most popular face on Twitch. And we're also on Twitch, but we're not the most popular faces.
Not by a long shot. You can go to twitch.freetalklive.com. Is it twitch.lrn.fm?
Yes.
Also, I think it's probably the same thing, twitch.lrn.fm, and you can see our high-quality HD video. It's there for the last 14 episodes are there for you. They keep it for 14 days at least. There may be other episodes. Check it out. If you want to see HD quality video of us in a studio doing a radio show.
Yeah, so this guy, and Twitch was originally created for gamers to play games, and then people that watch can wind up, leaving tips for whoever they're watching, and there are ways that people can monetize their Twitch channel. Article continues, even if you're a non-gamer, chances are you've heard his name at the very least. It's impossible to escape his influence as he continues to rack up new sponsorship opportunities, such as playing games with rapper Drake and being the center of several massive tournaments for charities with millions of dollars on the line. There's just one peculiar thing about Ninja, and they're referring to him as Ninja because apparently that's his nickname here.
Yep.
There's just one peculiar thing that seems a little bizarre. He does not invite women to play with him on his streams. He has made abundantly clear when speaking to Polygon at Samsung Unpacked 2018, a recent event during which Epic Games finally debuted the Android version of Fortnite, which is a massively popular game.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it. I don't know anything about it, though.
He said, quote, "I don't play with female gamers, leaving no room for interpretation on the matter. At first, it sounds like a rash, boyish decision with no legitimate rationale behind it. But there's a very frustrating reason behind his decision." And he explained, clarifying his position, "If I have one conversation with one female streamer where we're playing with one another, and even if there's a hint of flirting, that's going to be taken, and it's going to be put on every single video and will be clickbait forever."
Okay.
Article continues, he's not wrong, unfortunately, as people will run with any indication that their favorite online personalities are in a relationship, even if, or rather as if that was the most important, interesting fact about anyone on the internet or in real life. But this is
what happens in grocery store tabloids all the time. I mean, they're not online gaming celebrities, but they're Hollywood celebrities. I know that Brad Pitt, and I know what Brad Pitt's love life has been like for the last 10 years from reading on tabloid things on my checkout. I've never picked up one of these magazines and looked on the inside, but there they sit as I'm waiting behind somebody with a grocery cart full of stuff while I'm just trying to buy my wine and crackers or whatever it is that I'm drowning my sorrows in at that given time. But here I am. Oh, looks like Brad and Angela aren't getting along, and she's not letting him see his kids. Well, shame on her. That seems terrible. Like, why do I have an opinion on this? These are people I've never met.
I have no opinion on Brad and Angelina. Continuing with the sci-fi article, people will take the subtlest intonations, the dumbest comments, and the most seemingly insignificant of interactions and plaster them all over YouTube with monetized videos in an attempt to cash in on some of that sweet, sweet traffic they're so desperately seeking. They'll obsess over it. It's unhealthy and frankly terrifying that people behave this way, but that's par for the course when it comes to the way women are treated far too often in the gaming industry. As Polygon notes, the female streamer Emaine Pokimane Anis began playing Fortnite with Ali Myth Kabani. It opened the floodgates of fans to speculate whether the two were an item simply based on their mutual streams.
Don't you ever wonder when you see skaters, Olympic skaters that skate together, couples skating? I don't know this stuff very well, but when you see the couples that are dressed similarly.
Ice dancing.
Ice dancing and ice skating, but
the pair skating where they do the dances, that would be ice dancing.
I'll take your word for it.
Ice skating is the races where they race in circles.
I'll take your word for it.
I watched the Olympics.
I've watched the Olympics. Apparently, I didn't walk away with the same amount of information that you did.
And the biathlon is when you ski and then shoot.
Sometimes these people are couples, and sometimes they're not.
Yes.
But they're dressed the same, and he's touching her in places that I don't touch women that I'm not, in a relationship with. And so it leads one to believe, There's been some hanky-panky going on at some point or another, and I think about it. Right? Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I think about it when I see these situations.
I may think about it very briefly, but like I'm not thinking right now about any particular, ice dancing.
No,
couples.
I'm not thinking about. But whenever I see the couples and I see the way, they're looking into each other's eyes as he holds her aloft, as her heel nearly touches the back of her head, and these sorts of things. It's intended to elicit emotions of a romantic sort, the music and these sorts of things in me. So it's intended to elicit these sorts of thoughts.
Right, but you watch the Marvel movies. So when Spider-Man and Mary Jane are having their scene where they're looking longingly in one another's eyes and then they exchange a kiss, do you also think about whether those actors are?
No, I don't. But
some people do.
I'm only telling you, I'll bet you that more actors have done it than we have heard the stories about. But again, why do I care? Why do I care? If it's a good movie, it's a good movie. But I never have thought, you're right, I am a big fan of the Marvel movies, specifically the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. The one you mentioned is a Sony movie and not a Marvel Cinematic movie. Anyway,
I couldn't tell you what superheroes are Marvel and which ones are DC and which ones are, like Octagon.
I'm not sure what Octagon is.
I don't know.
But I've never considered up to this point as to whether or not Scarlett Johansson, who plays Black Widow, has ever had a romantic moment with any one of the actors on set or off. I wouldn't hazard a guess as to who it was that she decided to bless with.
Probably Aquaman.
Yeah, not related.
Jason Momoa.
Unrelated. But he is...
Jason Momoa is Aquaman. Aquaman is a superhero.
Unrelated. He is a striking figure of a man, there's no doubt.
Which thing is Aquaman in? Isn't that like Justice League?
Justice League, yeah, that's right.
And isn't the Scarlett Johansson thing also the Justice League?
Nope, she's in Avengers.
What's the difference?
One is not the other.
Okay. So
what's the difference between you and I? You're Darryl, I'm Mark.
Yeah, I didn't realize that one was DC and the other Marvel.
Now you know.
Yeah. So continuing on here, according to Blevins, again, codename Ninja, the decision not to do streams with females was made of his own accord without the influence of his wife and manager, Jessica J. Ghosty. He says that was not even her. She had nothing to do with it. This was me being, I love our relationship, and no, I'm not even going to put you through that. To hear Blevins tell it, his decision isn't about making him looking to shut out his female fans, but rather to quell any potential of rumors that could damage his marriage or spark rumors.
Yeah.
And there is more to this article.
Yeah, this is absolutely true. With the small amount of celebrity that that I enjoy here on Free Talk Live, and you too, Darryl, but you don't have a romantic relationship going on.
Yeah, rub it in.
Well, imagine what it was like if somebody made some claim for me. That'd be bad news. For you, no big deal. 855-450-3733. Free Talk Live.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Dynovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dynovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 13,000 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed secure node systems of any cryptocurrency, and Zencash now has supernodes. Supernodes will bring network, economic, and technical improvements across the network. And the official Zencash wallet is available on Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com. Zencash.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. It's the live Sunday edition. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind here. It's Mark with you.
And Darryl.
Want to tell you about MyPillow. Not just MyPillow. That's
it's
the
a
brand.
good pillow.
Yeah. It's MyPillow's great, but that's the brand of MyPillow. Is MyPillow.
It's the best pillow.
Yeah, it's a great pillow.
It's a fluffy pillow.
What you want from your pillow is you want your pillow to hold your head and neck in a straight line up your spine. You want your spine to remain in a straight line all night long.
Yep.
You don't want your head sinking in, so you wake up with a crank in your neck. I don't have that happen anymore. I used to have that happen when I used a down pillow, and I used a down pillow for many years. Thought it was the height of pillow technology. I was wrong. Now you can find a lot of pillows that'll hold your head and neck, and many of these new pillows out there. They're great pillows, and they'll hold your head and neck in the right position. The other thing that MyPillow does is you can wash it. No problem. Wash it, pop it in the dryer, and you got your pillow back that quick.
Yep.
Imagine all the horrifying filth that makes it through your pillowcase into your pillow.
Dirt, dead skin.
Yeah. The dust mites living in there, colonies, just a metropolis of dust mites. I don't like that. Perhaps you don't either. Go to MyPillow.com. You get 2 MyPillow premium pillows for one low price, and you get free shipping on all orders when you use the promo code FTL. remember, if you don't like MyPillow, you have 60 days to return it for a full refund of your purchase price. So no real risk there. Right. If you don't like it, send it back. If you don't think it's the best pillow you've ever owned, like I do, send it back. MyPillow.com, promo code FTL. By the way, I recently purchased some crappy pillows. Now, I got a rental that I have to put in, and I'm not paying top dollar for great pillows for other people. They can bring their own like I do when I go and sleep in somebody else's bed. But crappy pillows, $20 at Walmart. So the floor for pillows is pretty high as far as pricing goes, just so you know when you look at pricing for MyPillow. So there you go. Let's go to the phones, to the fun. Let's go to Big Ben from Canada calling on the Discord line. Notice how great Big Ben sounds. Big Ben, can you hear me?
Yeah.
What's on your mind?
I was meaning to call in last night, but I had finished the break quickly. So anyways, over the past few nights, you guys have been talking about like democratic socialism, and there's also a term that's not really used actually what many of these countries identify as, and that's social democracies, which are market economies that are heavily regulated and heavily taxed.
I've heard that other term as it's as some kind of distinction against democratic socialism. Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, one key point that I don't think many on the right make, especially in the United States, is that the United States is very bureaucratic compared to some of these social democracies. Like here in Canada, we do not have 3 federal law enforcement agencies or 3 federal intelligence agencies.
Oh, we've got way more than 3 intelligence agencies.
Oh yeah, it's like 40.
Yeah, we only have CSIS or whatever they call it. I can't remember.
The Mounties. You have the Mounties.
Our CMP is for our law enforcement. Yeah, and that's pretty much the only federal agency there.
One of my favorite things to do, Ben, is when I'm talking to a conservative who's all God, guts, and guns on me, is to point out that Canada, home of socialized medicine, is listed on the Heritage Foundation's Freedom Around the World Charter, whatever it's called, as freer than the United States, and has been for years.
Yes.
That Canada is rated by a conservative organization as freer than the home of the free and the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Right.
And they, in many cases, just can't believe it. Their minds will not accept.
But they can't have guns up in Canada, so they don't have the First Amendment.
Right. And the other thing that Canada represents is it is basically as close as you can get to science as to the question of what would have happened had the United States not fought a revolutionary war. What would have happened had the United States not seceded from England?
We'd have a large chunk of French Canadians living in the middle of the country?
Maybe. It could be. But other than that, basically,
I'm thinking Louisiana territory probably would have remained somewhat French.
Yeah, they probably would not have bought. They wouldn't have bought the Louisiana Purchase because France would have never sold it to England.
Yeah.
Especially when Napoleon would have never sold it to England. That much is true. But you can kind of see. Oh, take a look. So there you go. Anyway, go on, Big Ben.
Yeah, basically that's part of the argument. Like our healthcare system isn't really implemented on the federal level. It's mostly implemented on the provincial level. As a result, more decentralized. So yeah, Canada may have more actual like socialists that live here, but we're actually more decentralized in our form of governance, and that's something I enjoy about living here. Anyways,
I would prefer not to have decentralized socialism. I would prefer to have decentralized market-based economies, but no one is offering that option.
Right.
And it's just kind of an interesting thing to look at, as far as it goes. Canada, by no means, home of, free market freedom in the world, but at the same time, the United States probably should stop whipping that flag around and spend more time actually concentrating on this capitalism that they talk about. Nope, I guess he's gone. Yeah, I didn't see. I was looking at the Discord there, and thanks for the call, Big Ben. Let's go to Bad Slave calling in from New Hampshire. Bad Slave, you're on Free Talk Live.
Howdy.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Just a real quick thing about the federal government is that if we actually had a constitutional federal government, it would probably be in the below 90% gone.
How so?
I'm just saying that it's the usurpation of federal powers has gone on wholesale.
I see. So, if the United States government stuck to the Constitution that it was supposed to, that it's 90 that 9 out of 10 programs wouldn't exist. 9 out of $10 wouldn't be spent.
Well, more than that.
Maybe.
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't know. The military is largely constitutional, even though many of the founding fathers were against a standing military.
It's a bastardization of what the constitutional intent was, where the intent was not to have a standing army, hence the clause that no appropriations be made for more than 2 years. But what they do now is, we'll just do a budget every year, and so therefore we're complying with the rule.
Yep. I can't disagree, Bad Slave, and thank you so much for the call. Appreciate it.
Anyways, I wanted to say to Darryl real quickly, there are 2 sports. One is ice dancing, and the other is figure skating.
What skating?
Figure skating.
Figure skating.
Figure skating's 1 person. Ice dancing is 2.
Got it. Thanks for the call, Bad Slave. Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
This is Jessica Armand, creator of the fluoride-free oral care brand, My Magic Mud. You're going to love our new products. Our cutting-edge oral rinses deeply soothe your mouth and fight cavities naturally. Our breath spray, My Magic Mist, will invigorate your senses with essential oils of peppermint and eucalyptus. Our clinically proven toothpaste and tooth powders whiten your teeth and detoxify your mouth. Buy discounted bundles direct at mymagicmud.com and take 10% off with coupon code GCN10. mymagicmud.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love. But make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever is on your mind. It's Mark with you.
And Darryl.
And we've been, across the board tonight talking about lots of different things. Right now, we're talking about this article where a famous gamer, and then look, I didn't know they existed either.
I knew that gamers existed.
Yeah, I did too. I knew that,
and I knew that some of them, were famous within gaming circles. I just couldn't name any of them.
I guess I'd to say baffled by the notion that people spend as much time watching people play games as they do. So I was at the barber shop yesterday.
All right.
And he's like, oh, nice haircut. Got the freshly shorn look. And I was listening to the barber, and this is one of these verbose guys. He's loud. His voice occupies the room. He gesticulates, and I was enjoying listening to him. He was running his own little talk show right there in the barber shop. And he was complaining about his children's consumption of media. Specifically, it's not that I have a problem with them playing games. What I can't stand is that they watch YouTube videos of other people playing games for hours. I mean, why not play the game? Why would you watch other people play the game? And I feel very similarly. My son spends a lot of time consuming videos about video games, and I am stunned.
I think I have some kind of understanding of why some people might watch these to learn some of the tips and tricks. Where when we were younger, we had like the video game magazines.
Yeah, the magazines or the books that you could buy that were the walkthroughs, and you can get those walkthroughs online and those kind of things. Yeah.
Well, when I was young, there wasn't really online per se. Like, it existed for some people.
I don't know what range you're talking about here. Yeah, go ahead.
Like playing the Mario Brothers games or whatever stuff on the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, stuff like that. Go to the bookstore and pick up a copy of one of the gamer magazines and like read a tip or trick or something. If you were lucky, somebody that you went to school with would have one of the magazines and you could read. That was our version of watching the videos back then to learn how to beat the game.
I remember a magazine focused on, you're talking about youth, and so for me, I had the 2600. You're talking about like the Nintendo one with the cartridges that you had to blow it.
Yeah.
Those things, right? Mine was...
There was no internet that taught us, like blow the dust out of the thing. You just kind of knew.
I remember specifically this game, Adventure. That was like the first online role-playing game, basically. Had dragons and stuff, and attempting to find this magic dot that was within the game that was sort of an Easter egg.
All right.
And being able to cross a particular area that you couldn't get across otherwise in the game, and was never able to pull that off as a youngster. I'm not sure what one got there, but nonetheless, it was kind of that was trying to follow these things in the game. Never managed to pull that off. But other than that, I stumbled through.
Yeah. So back to the article here. Apparently, the most popular guy on Twitch, he goes by the name Ninja. He has said that he will not play games with women. He will not do live streams with women.
And Mike Pence, the vice president of the United States, has also said that he doesn't have like dinners alone with women. He doesn't have meetings alone with women.
Right.
And in many cases, they get a lot of heat for this kind of stuff. This guy's reasons are similar to Mike Pence's in that his relationship is more important to him than whatever this other stuff is. And he just doesn't want to create a situation where anyone is harmed.
Right. And
including himself.
The article here from Sci-Fi says the issue here goes much, much further beyond that. This is more than a ninja problem. It's a problem deeply ingrained with the industry and society alike.
Yeah.
Too often when members of the opposite sex have great chemistry or appear in some capacity together on a project, the aforementioned movies or ice dancing or whatever that you had mentioned, there's always some sort of assumption that there's a romantic component involved.
Yep.
With Ninja's ridiculously large platform of over 10 million viewers,
amazing.
It's disappointing that due to bigger issues within the community, and by community they mean the gaming community, women can't have the same opportunities to game with him as other male streamers and celebrities. When you get that popular, you've got to protect yourself and your loved ones in some way, even if it means potentially angering another segment of your fan base, and this is his way of doing that. And it's just as frustrating as it may be when women are often scrutinized over every single decision they make when it comes to streaming their favorite games, up to and including what they wear and what they play, as well as how they play. It's easy to see why excluding them from the platform will ultimately lead to less heartbreak, though. To hear Blevins tell it, he hasn't had any negative responses to his decisions. He told Polygon, quote, "I honestly think that it's just kind of a respect thing." While he believes this is a respect thing, it's also likely owed to the very same fear that women have that he spoke on, becoming the epicenter of rumors. These are the same kinds of rumors that could spiral out of control and lead to harassment campaigns from hardcore fans, and the same kind that ends up pushing women off of social media platforms entirely.
So this is, focusing on the woman to some extent, but I got to tell you, I've talked to many sort of heads of industry and business people and that sort of thing, and when they get around to this topic, they're often like Mike Pence. They don't meet alone with female employees. They don't get into a situation where somebody can say they said or did something because basically they're scared. Think about it this way. If you're a heterosexual male, married male, and you meet with, a woman in a capacity or whatever, she has now gained a power over you. Like you certainly have a power over her in that you have this, larger shoulder girdle and you could do, horrifying things. But if you choose not to do that, then she retains the power over you, which is that she could say that you did this or did that or whatever and ruin your career and these sorts of things. Now, I'm not saying it's bad that they have that power. I'm saying that as a result, some people, if given power, will abuse that power.
Some people do abuse power.
And what I find is that, a person who isn't going to abuse their power in this given circumstance is frightened of the other person. And
right. So what you're really talking about here is some form of the prisoner's dilemma, but in a much worse scenario.
Sure. And what it results in is fewer opportunities for women. And, men cowering and being scared. I've been to jiu-jitsu studios all across the world. I've been to jiu-jitsu studios in at least 3 countries. And when the few times that the conversations have come up about women, usually what I see is men and women rolling together, wrestling, grappling together, and not thinking about it, trying to, provide the best experience for each other. But you don't see much. But when the conversation does come up, you'll find that, it's mostly men in jiu-jitsu. You'll find that they're a little frightened that some woman could come in and kind of really mess things up.
Right.
Any studio doesn't want the trouble of some woman coming in and saying, I was inappropriately touched by dozens of men at X jiu-jitsu studio.
Right.
And that would be horrifying outcome. And it's, most of the guys there have no intention of this happening.
Right.
Don't want this to happen, so they're scared of the results. This is a nation that's sadly petrified of each other. What happened here? Is this what gender equality looks like? Because it doesn't seem great.
I don't think that you could call this gender equality. This is, as you said, some people
mutually assured destruction.
It sounds much closer to that. Some people want to, harm other people for some reason. There's a little bit more to this.
And callers. The number. I'm going to hold off on the number. We got plenty of callers. Free Talk Live. Check us out at freetalklive.com.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
Long-distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body.
Get relief for your neck or back pain when you search Amazon for Sunshine Pillows, heating wraps, and pads, often listed as an Amazon choice.
Why take another pill?
Now, from Sunny Bay and by customer demand, we introduce our extra long neck heating wrap, a complete wrap, wide and hands-free, and brings fast relief to those who suffer from neck or back pain.
You can easily find Sunshine Pillows on Amazon.
Or search Amazon for our new Sunny Bay disposable heat pads. Or look for Sunny Bay heated neck wraps for relief from back pain to menstrual pain and cramps.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck, or back, or shoulder.
See why our company, Biomed DB Design, has a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. Just go to Amazon.com and search Sunny Bay, or call us 253-678-1361.
In Baltimore, the streets have gotten safer thanks to the success of the new Permanent Daylight Initiative, which aims to prevent crime by illuminating the entire city 24 hours a day using high-powered floodlights.
It's just that it's so bright all the time, even in the rain.
City officials say there have been 0 violent crimes since the start of the program, except for one man who vandalized the light by throwing his body off a building into it. Now let's set our crosshairs on to Mountain View, California, where Gmail servers were down for nearly 2 hours today. In an online statement, the company said, "Tremble before Google. With the mere flip of a switch, we can bring you to your knees." After reestablishing service this afternoon, Google changed its logo and released a statement saying, if not appeased with a 20% increase in Google Chrome downloads by the next vernal equinox, they will take back their generous gift unto mankind of colored conversation labeling. All right, you can take off your helmet. You have survived the News Blitz.
This is the Onion News Network.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. As expected, it's the final segment, and we're stacked up with calls. It's Mark with you.
And Darryl.
Check out the AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com. The AMP program is, well, it's how we put together our AMP, our advertising, marketing, and promoting here on Free Talk Live. That's why it's called AMP, because that's what we do with the money. We don't, spend it on anything else. And so if you think we do a good job here, if you like the work we do, the way to promote that work and get more people to listen to that work is to amp the program at amp.freetalklive.com. We appreciate it. It is validation for the work that we have put into this. For me, it's 15 years now. And when you give $5 a month, you're saying to me, Mark, I'm validating your work. I think what you do is it's important, and I want to spread it to more people. Not I want to give you $5. Right. I'm not going to use that. Thank you. I do appreciate it, though. amp.freetalklive.com. Let's go to...
Let's finish this. There's two or three more sentences here to this article from Sci-Fi Wire about this gamer Ninja, who apparently the most popular guy on Twitch, says he's not doing streams with women because he doesn't want to wind up not only putting himself in a situation where there are rumors,
but her too,
but the woman as well. And they say here, it's more than anything else a stark reminder that when it comes to equality within the gaming industry and society at large, we've still got plenty of work to do.
Why?
Let me finish reading the article before you start asking questions.
Okay.
They say, don't blame Ninja, though. Blame systemic sexism within the industry. Change has to start, they say, with us as individuals. So if you want to see this sort of behavior curbed, we're all going to have to work better on it together. And you remember Gamergate from a couple of years ago, right?
Yes.
That's what they're talking about here, where you've got people that will harass female gamers over every little thing.
If the most popular gamer in the world on Twitch was a woman and she refused to game with men, I would support her. But I would suspect if men came on and made spurious, allegations or spurious allegations were made about them or whatever, that they would receive harassment online too from the males that follow those female gamers. And there's lots of males that follow female gamers. I think that, the claim of sexism, I'm not sure that I agree with that.
You don't claim that some men harass women simply because they are women?
Some men do. Some women dislike men simply because they're men, and they do things too. And that there's an equal amount of that, and that doesn't indicate sex. What I heard in this article doesn't indicate sexism to me. It indicates there is the top gamer in the world for whatever reason is a man, and that he the top gamer in the world does not participate with the other sex in order to protect them and themselves from harassment. That I agree with. The idea that indicates sexism, I did not hear any indication of that. Let me go to Sarah in North Carolina calling in about crypto. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
All's well.
Good. I met y'all last month in New Hampshire at the festivals there up in Lancaster.
Yes.
And I just want to say hi. And so my family's got these concerns about my boyfriend, who you know, and his endeavors into crypto and taxation, and I don't know how to answer them. And so I was just wondering if y'all had any input on how cryptocurrencies and taxation have developed over the years.
So I know that the federal government is putting together guidelines for taxes for cryptocurrencies. I think at this point that it's too complicated to
right, because you have various agencies that say that cryptocurrency is various things for various regulations. The IRS currently says that cryptocurrency is a commodity like gold or silver and is subject to capital gains or capital loss. You have other entities such as FinCEN saying that cryptocurrency is currency for the purposes of their regulation, and so if you buy or sell large amounts as some kind of intermediary, then you might be subject to some kind of regulation. And
but that doesn't have to do with tax.
It doesn't, but it does have to do with a regulation that you might find yourself subject to if you do a certain thing that they don't like you doing.
It is my understanding that the federal government will say things like, that the IRS says things like, every transaction between every cryptocurrency that you trade. So, for instance, if you trade cryptocurrencies with the intention of making money, you're going to make transactions that win, transactions that lose. And that if you overall make wins, you should pay the taxes on the wins. But let's say you change U.S. dollars into Bitcoin, then you change that Bitcoin into Zencash, then you change it back into Bitcoin, then you change it back into Bitcash, back and forth 10 times.
Every one of those transactions, the IRS wants you to calculate a capital gain and capital loss.
That's correct. And then you would pay based on the net capital gain or net or benefit.
But if you read a bunch of the other regulations and descriptions of various line items on various IRS forms, if you barter with someone, let's say, Mark, I cut your grass and you feed me lunch. That's a barter. At the end of the year, we have to figure out what the value of the lunch depreciated to and what the value of the grass cut, either appreciated or depreciated. And then one of us has a capital gain, one of us has a capital loss. If you do illegal activity, the federal government wants you to put that income as miscellaneous on, I believe it's line 21 of Schedule C.
And it's also worth pointing out that basically every time you file a tax return, you're giving evidence for a case against you. Whenever a bank or financial organization gives information on your account to the federal government, that is evidence that they have of how much money you have, how much money you made. And I am of the opinion that providing evidence against yourself is a bad idea. And you should limit it. You should pay what you're supposed to pay, whatever that means, but you shouldn't provide a heck of a lot of evidence. So, that's my thought process. Is don't give.
Also, the 14th Amendment.
Well, yes, the 14th Amendment is it's a complicated one, and people can begin their research on that. And thank you for the input, Stone. Sarah?
Thank you very much for taking my call. I know it's kind of late in the game, but I appreciate y'all taking it, and I hope y'all are doing well.
Thanks, Sarah. Appreciate the call. Let's go to David calling in from New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live. David, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay. Mark, you say your dad was a mold maker at Tropicana?
That's correct.
What do they put mold in orange juice for?
Well, so, a mold maker is, in this case, somebody who makes the mold in which the glass bottles are, make the glass bottles look like they look. In his case, he specialized in the tops that you would screw the cap on. So it was the molds for the glass onto which you would screw tops back when Tropicana came in glass bottles.
That's different. That screwing. That's different.
Yep.
I can tie into your. I can settle an argument and tie into your current conversation by starting a rumor. I once had beers with both Christy Yamaguchi and Katarina Witt, and so that makes me an expert in ice skating. And both Ian. I'm sorry. Darryl. Yeah, Darryl and the caller are wrong. Ice dancing is a form of pairs skating that is separate and distinct from a event called pairs skating. Ice dancing is separate. They're actually doing dancing moves in the pair skating.
I thought it was different.
Yeah, they're in the pair skating. They're doing certain types of jumps and such, they have to do a specified routine. Whereas in ice dancing, they can do what they want, and they don't have to do the specified jumps and other maneuvers.
It's more freestyle.
And since I mentioned that was a rather interesting. I once sat at a table having beers where I was the only one of about 6 or 7 different people at the table that had not won gold medals, world championships, and the like. It was Scott Hamilton.
How'd you end up at that table?
Oh, because the bottom line would be gay men's sex drive, because I was doing massage therapy for Paul Wiley, one of the skaters, and he invited me to go out to beers with their whole crew after their performance. And so I did.
Yeah,
but
why not hang out with gold medalists if you can?
Exactly. Yeah, they had. It was between. I just counted them up. Between the 6, 7, 8 people at the table, they each of them had from 1 to 3 gold medals and 1 to 3 U.S. and/or world championships. And so there's 20-some championships and Olympic medals, gold medals between them, all sitting at one table, except for me. I didn't win any.
You're a gold medal with us, Dave. Thanks for the call. I imagine Ian's very, very jealous that he hasn't been able to smoke pot with Phelps.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war